I was one of the first people to post a review of the Blancpain and Swatch collaboration, the Scuba 50 Fathoms. It remains one of my most popular and commented videos on YouTube. Since then, I've had a chance to buy 3 more. Starting out with the original Indian Ocean. From there, I got the Antarctic Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. I added the 4th of 6 and the last one to be released to the collection. And this is a stunner, but a watch that has me in a real dilemma. This is it. This is the Ocean of the Storms. Now, as I remove the plastic covering, you will probably see that this bezel really pops, even though it's made of bioceramic or plastic. This bezel looks eerily similar to the sapphire bezel on the original Blancpain 50 Fathoms. Further, this watch features great lume. The lume is comparable once again to the original model. The dimensions of this watch are 42 millimeters and it wears compact on the wrist. One negative people have brought up, and I concur with this, is the strap makes this watch too bulky. It certainly is a nice strap and it's made of recycled ocean materials, and we commend the Swatch group for that. But it certainly is too bulky on this watch. The bezel action is absolutely magnificent on this watch. This is a 120 click bezel, and as you can hear, it has a very satisfying thunk in each of those 120 grooves. The movement in this watch is a standard System 51, and as you can wind it, you can tell this is no high horology movement. This is a standard movement from the Swatch group. This is non-serviceable, although I'm sure people are going to find a way to service this movement over time. The watch also features a date complication. Now, here is my dilemma with this watch. So, the Blancpain 50 Fathoms is a 5-figure watch, and don't get me wrong, it is a masterpiece. One of the original dive watches, an absolutely stunning dive bezel, and a great dial, a great movement, a great piece of horological kit. But the standard production models are 44 millimeters or more. That is simply too big for my wrist, and to be honest with you, most people's wrists. This at 42 millimeters is a compact and a perfect size dive watch. Further, this watch is actually a relatively serious dive watch, and what I mean by that is the water resistance rating on this watch is 50 fathoms or 91 meters and 300 feet. I'm a diver myself, and I'll rarely go below 100 feet. This watch has more than adequate resistance. Yes, the 50 fathoms is over 3 times more water resistant than that, but I contend, how many of us are actually going down to saturation diving depths? And then are we really using a Blancpain 50 fathoms? Yes, you may have those 1 or 2 people who may, but for the vast majority of us who are casual swimmers, snorkelers, or divers, this watch, I would say, is absolutely adequate. So here's the dilemma. Initially, I was out looking at purchasing a Blancpain, especially when it came to these 3 watches. The Indian Ocean is a fun and playful take on the watch. The Antarctic Ocean is a cool take on the watch, and I have to be honest, I was disappointed by the Atlantic Ocean because I think the blue bioceramic tends to fade a lot more than I thought. Right as I was looking at what luxury watch to buy next, they released the Ocean of the Storms. And right at that moment, Blancpain went from at one of the top of my lists to being number 11 on my top 10 list. it was no longer important for me to have the original when I had a better wearing version of it. Certainly, I'm not comparing the specifications here of both watches. Yes, the original wins. I understand that. But from an aesthetic perspective and from a functionality that I need perspective, not necessarily what the watch can provide, this watch does it in spades. Thank you so much for watching the video. I do appreciate all of you on my horological journey.